From the Yonkers Statesman, October 16, 1916. Headline, Still Pressing the Romanians. They have been forced back by Teutons over their border line. The Teutonic pressure against the Romanians along the Transylvania frontier continues unabated. The British recently have been advancing in the vicinity of the Stuff and Schwaben redoubts in the Thiepval region. Last night, a strong attack was made on the new British positions near the Schwaben fortifications, but it was beaten back with heavy losses. The Entente allies have resumed a strong offensive south of Monastir. Sofia declares the Bulgarians have frustrated attempts on their lines west of the Monastir-Florina Railway. Along the Strumer line, the British have pushed their outposts further toward the Demisisar. The situation on the Romanian frontier occupies a leading position in London newspapers today. The Romanians, according to the latest official statements, have been forced back 6 or 7 miles into their own territory at one point. According to travelers from Germany, says the Exchange Telegraph Company Amsterdam correspondent, a remarkable disease is spreading in many parts of Germany, especially in Berlin, Munich, and Cologne. It is caused by continual feeding from preserved foods. The sickness is considered a serious form of blood poisoning. The Galician battle is still raging with intensity southeast and east of Lemberg, but without apparent notable advantage to either side. Continuing their attacks on the Somme front last night, the French penetrated the German positions, the War Office announced today. The Germans made violent counterattacks, and fighting is still in progress. From Berlin, it was reported 74 hostile airplanes, 21 French and 53 British, were shot down by the Germans during September, according to a list compiled by the German military authorities. This publication says the statement is illustrative of the worth of the declaration recently made by Premier Asquith that British airplanes had gained complete domination of the air. The Entente powers never give detailed reports regarding successes they claim in aerial warfare. Headline, Milk Shortage Near's End. Distributors come to an agreement with the farmers. Officials of the Dairymen's League have been telegraphing and telephoning to the farmers of New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut that the milk war has been won and that milk distribution in New York City and vicinity was to be released immediately. The lifting of the boycott followed the surrender of the big distributors to League terms. There was an appreciable increase in the milk supply today in Yonkers, and by the middle of the week the supply will be normal. Headline, The Trolley Strike. Stories emanating from no one knows where concerning the next move of the Yonkers Railroad Company are current about the city today. It was rumored that 20 strikebreakers were imported from New York City last night and had been engaged since midnight in putting the cars in condition for immediate service. This report was denied this morning by General Manager Leslie Sutherland. Track walkers were at work, though, cleaning out switches along the lines, but when questioned professed ignorance of the purpose of their operations. Policemen deny that they have been placed on reserve in anticipation of any trouble. Nevertheless, an unusually large number of officers were seen near the city line in South Broadway. Wire has been stretched across the vestibules and windows of 2 cars at least, and they are in readiness for operation. A recurrence of trouble between drivers of jitneys and operators of sightseeing buses is expected. These buses were again running between Getty Square and Van Cortlandt Park yesterday at a nominal fare of 5 cents, half the charge of the automobiles. During the first trolley strike in July, these two factions nearly came to blows over the respective positions allotted to them at the subway terminal by the police. Since the commencement of the present strike, automobile drivers have had the cream of the trade with no competition to hinder them, as the bus drivers were engaged in New York City, which offered a more profitable field. And in an advertisement, the Hamilton Theater noted it was showing, today, Douglas Fairbanks in Manhattan Madness, the Nuremberg Watch, the second story of the Scarlet Runner series, and the latest Pathé News. And that's the news from Yonkers 100 years ago today.